I'm wondering, have you been praying for the same situation, perhaps for the same person, the same circumstances for ages? And it feels like even your prayers are tired. Perhaps your prayers are feeling more like begging, please, God, do something already. But you can't see any changes. If you can relate to any of that, then this message is especially for you. It's a message that's practical in its application and inspired by a true story in the Bible. Oh, and in case you're wondering, this topic also comes from my own experience of 34 odd years following Jesus, struggling with praying at times for the same thing forever. Yet the same issues would just keep happening. It felt like I was pulling my hair out at times. So, our story today comes from 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 17 to 25. Have a listen to this. When the Philistines heard that David had been anointed king over Israel, they went up in full force to search for him. But David heard about it and went down to the stronghold. Now the Philistines had come and spread out in the valley of Rephaim. So David inquired of the Lord, "Shall I go and attack the Philistines? Will you deliver them into my hands?" The Lord answered him, "Go, for I will surely deliver the Philistines into your hands." So David went to Baal Perazim, and there he defeated them. He said, "As waters break out, the Lord has broken out against my enemies before me." So that place was called Baal Perazim. The Philistines abandoned their idols there, and David and his men carried them off. Need that little help turning the page? Once more, the Philistines came up and spread out in the valley of Rephaim again. So David inquired of the Lord, and the Lord answered, "Do not go straight up, but circle around behind them and attack them in front of the poplar trees. As soon as you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the poplar trees, move quickly, because that will mean the Lord has gone out in front of you to strike the Philistine army." So David did as the Lord commanded him, and he struck down the Philistines all the way from Gibeon to Gezer. Excuse my pronunciation. So to recap that passage, and you're probably wondering, where are you getting to with this, Julie? Stick around. The enemy spread out, right? There was no missing them. It was completely obvious what they were intending to do. So David asks God, "Shall I go and attack the Philistines? Will you deliver them into my hands?" Now, what I love about this is that David didn't make any assumptions about what his next move should be. It seemed completely logical, but the fact that despite what seemed logical, he asked God what he should do and if he would win. David follows what God tells him to do. The enemy runs off. They come back, they regroup, and they return to the same spot. David could have assumed, hey, you know what? God told me before to go out against them last time, and he gave me the victory, so I'll do what I did before. But no, again, David inquired of God, and this time God gave him a different strategy. Like we read before, do not go straight up, but circle around. As soon as you hear the sound of marching on top of the poplar trees, move quickly, because that will mean the Lord has gone out in front of you. Now, here is my point. Same situation, different strategy. That's what I noticed about this passage. When I recognized the principle here, I saw an opportunity to completely shift my approach to prayer for a situation that wasn't changing. The change in my approach was this. Instead of praying from the present state of the situation, I started praying from the future state of the situation, as though the prayer had already been answered and that God had done far more in the situation than I even thought was possible. And that shift in approach totally re-energized my faith. And instead of praying from a place of anxiety, which you could probably relate to, I was praying from a place of confidence and peace. it changed my position, and it changed my posture. That's the point of what I'm trying to say. So my invitation to you, if you are feeling tired in your prayers, think of one thing you've been praying for and praying for and praying for, but not seeing anything change. Or perhaps there is a prayer inside you that you haven't prayed for a while because maybe you kind of stopped asking because it felt like God wasn't listening. Well, take that one circumstance or that prayer that's maybe been on the shelf for a while and bring it to God. Ask Him, as David did, how to approach it differently in order to get God's perspective on it. Write it all down, see what God shows you, shift your posture, shift your perspective. Now, I hope that this encouraged you today and you got something out of it. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to my channel, but importantly, let me know in the comments below if this resonated.